Hello, the Pioneer viewers. The Russian-Ukraine war remains on our agenda. The war continues intensely. The conflicts, which are approaching their second year, have worn out the parties mutually. It is known that the war processes are always difficult, but this difficulty increases exponentially the longer the war lasts. Setting a strategy and preparing action plans to realize it is a great help on the road to victory. To this end, the armies of states take an approach to emphasize and strategize under strength. Many conflicts that appear to be simple wars are in fact the results of important strategies. Periods of the war can also bring along extraordinary measures and practices. In this case, the law loses its functionality. While in democratic states the system shows its continuity, unfortunately, an authoritarian government, their systems becomes even more rigid. Russia's invasion attempt against Ukraine drew the world's attention to the region. Although Russia initially tried to legitimize the invasion with the big claims, it failed. On the top of that, the Russian army, faced with a strong resistance of the Ukrainian army, was at a loss as what to do. The most important thing that made the Ukrainian army successful against the Russian army was a strategy. The Ukrainian army has been acting on a plan since the first days of the occupation. The planned actions of the Ukrainian army enable it to achieve successes on the front line. Another characteristic of times of the war is that harsh conditions try to legitimize dangerous actions. Recent reports have shown that the Ukrainian army's gains against the Russian Navy. The reports revealed how successful the Ukrainian army has been in its strategies. In addition, allegations about the disappearance of the Russian commander are occupying the agenda in Russia. Now, if you're ready, let's examine the latest developments together. As the Pioneer, we continue to report on Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. The Ukrainian military's gains against the Russian Navy have strengthened the Ukrainian interest in the region, according to the recent reports. Ukraine's successful suppression of the Russian Black Sea Fleet has caused Kiev's gains experts to rise to their highest levels since the start of the invasion. An intelligence update recently shared by the British Ministry of Defense argued that the successes were significant due to the creation of the effective Black Sea shipping routes despite the ongoing war. Kiev's drones and missiles strikes have had a great success in attacking targets in occupied Crimea, which was illegally annexed by Moscow in 2014. The Ukrainian military's strategy for the region is close to success. The main strategy was to break Russian influence and concentration in the region. Ukraine is one of the world's largest suppliers of crops, producing grains such as sunflower oil, barley, corn, and wheat. Agricultural, which accounts for a significant part of the Kiev's export revenues, was also affected by the war. The Ukrainian army's operations against the Russian Navy have been very profitable for Ukraine. Ukraine's ports have exported a significant amount of agricultural products since the Russian invasion in December 2023. Reporting of Ukraine's main Black Sea ports and establishment of unilateral shipping export channel were certainly effective, the report said. The security of the export route is vital for the long term. It is important both for Ukraine's export revenue and as a symbol that both sides are willing to suspend attacks on the civilian shippings, reducing risks of everyone in the Black Sea and paving the way for more trade. The Moskova flagship of the Russia's Black Sea Fleet was destroyed by Ukraine in early days of the war. Losses have continued since then, with the British Defense Ministry Grant Shapps saying last month that Russia had lost 20% of its Black Sea Fleet over 4 months. Russia's losses have led to reduced Russian presence in Crimean region. Reducing its presence in the region and retreating, the Russian Navy has fled to the safer harbor. Recent notable Russian losses include the destructions of the large Russian landing ship Novocherkassk last month and the broadcast last week that the Ukrainian drones had sunk a Tarantur-class corvette warship. The Ukrainian military continues to threaten the Russian presence in Crimea with drones and artillery. Kiev, on the other hand, continues to trade after dismantling the Russian presence in the region, which was hindering exports. The Ukrainian government, which continues export on the grain corridor, is doing its best for the security of the region. In this process, it continues to earn income. While political and economic developments continue, another issue that has been on the agenda in recent days has been the allegations about the Russian commander Gerasimov. Russia's top general, Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov, has not been seen on the screens this year, and the Kremlin has yet to respond to the claims that Gerasimov died following Ukraine's attacks on the Crimea this month. The suspicious situation about Gerasimov has led to more speculation on social media about his whereabouts. The Ukrainian military said it had recently struck a Russian military command post near Sevastopol and a military unit near the city of Yevpatoria in attacks on the Crimean Peninsula. Following the attack, social media users began to question the whereabouts of the Gerasimov, who is in charge of Russia's combat operations in Ukraine. Although there is no concrete evidence that Gerasimov was killed in the Crimea attack, some questions the Kremlin's silence on this issue 2 weeks after the incident. Numerous social media users expressed their outrage at the Moscow leadership. Gerasimov was last seen in public about a month ago when he was seen presenting state's awards to the military personnel involved in the capture of Mariinka in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. Since then, he has not been quoted, mentioned, or seen in public by state media outlets. This has led to suspicious allegations. The allegations against Gerasimov will come up again in the coming days with more detailed analysis. It is known that the Ukrainian army actively using communications channels during the war. The Russian army, on the other hand, said serious deficiencies in communication. Information to the public and making public statements are extremely important. The public needs transparent statements from the state authorities, especially in difficult war conditions. What do you think about the strategic plans of the Ukrainian army? Do you think the Ukrainian army has succeeded in its strategy in Crimea? How do you interpret the allegations against the Russian commander Gerasimov? What do you think are the flaws of the Russia's communication strategy? What do you think about the Kiev leadership's communication skills? We care about your opinion. Please share it with us.